Hello and welcome to another update video. Today we want to cover Uniswap. It is a coin that some channel members have requested and have been promising for a while to look at Uniswap. Really need to be careful not to put too many coins here on my radar and into the rotation, so it's more of a one-off, and then I will cover it from time to time should things happen, and should it's getting a little bit more exciting, because let's be honest, at the moment Uniswap isn't really doing anything too exciting. It's just moving sideways in what could very well be just a wave 4 triangle. But the overall chart doesn't look too bad. It's still a fairly young chart, but still it doesn't look too bad. So I'm looking at this rally into April, May 21 as a wave 1. Yeah, that looks also in the subwaves very, very impulsive. So if I'm looking at this as a wave 1, I'm going to show you the subwaves in a minute. Then I would assume we are currently in a wave 2 correction, like many altcoins as well. And then we would eventually reach, hopefully, a wave 3 in the next bull run, a 4 and a 5. But I will have to change the wave degree here of that 5-wave structure. There you go. And yeah, not so important really to understand what happened here, but some people might want to. So I looked at that before the video, and I think it's quite clearly recognizable that you can understand this as a wave 1, even though these pumps in the beginning are often not too reliable, but at the moment I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. Then here wave 2, which was the low in November 2020. The longest wave is oftentimes a wave 3, and I would consider the peak here as the 3, then probably the 4 was probably here as a running flat, and then a 5 to the upside. Let me change the color here, degree. Yeah, and the wave 3, as you can see, is often the most substantial wave, the longest one. We then have here basically within the wave 3, which was the extended one, a 1, 2. You could say this was a 3 somehow, here a 4 hidden and a 5. And you've got your 5 waves in the wave 3, and yeah, at least you can count 5 waves, which is, in my opinion, quite important. And we are now heading down here in an ABC correction in what I believe is wave 2. So quite well to recognize here a wave A to the downside. This here was the B wave, and then we are now in this C wave, pretty long one. Give that a different color. And then it's important to understand what happened actually in the C wave here as well. Very often the view that the third wave is the longest one. So we're looking here, when I start to label the chart like that, I always look at what is sort of the longest wave, and it's probably this third wave here all the way down to that low around the 11th of March, 12th of March, but it has to be the lower point, which is here. 15th of June actually, not March, it was May, but this year in June. So I would label this spike here as a 1, then we moved up in a 2, then here we've got the wave 3, and you can see that as a 1, 2 here. Would consider this the 3, the 4 and the 5 down. So we finished the 3, and now it's getting interesting, because for me, there is still one wave missing, right? So I'm currently looking at this possibly as the 4 and another wave 5 to come. But we need to talk about what happens here now, because there are various possibilities. Now, the wave 4 is quite short at the moment. I mean, if you look at how much did it actually retrace, you take the length of the third wave, go to the low of the fourth. Well, it reached the minimum retracement. In terms of retracement, it's the same retracement that Bitcoin reached in June, June to August. That's fine, but it could, and that's what Bitcoin is doing at the moment. So Bitcoin at the moment is possibly doing an A wave. Then we had a B wave here somewhere, the low in November, and Bitcoin is probably doing this C wave at the moment. At least possibly, yeah, it's likely. So, which would indicate the wave 4 should sit somewhere here. And if you talk about FIB levels, yeah, you're talking about the area between round about $13 and $16 here as a target, yeah. Ideal target for a fourth wave is the $13.18 level, $13.19 level. Now I didn't draw it super accurately, but you know, it's these fib level range. Now, however, it's not really coming off the ground, and in my opinion, if this is a C wave, it should have been moving more substantially. So I'm rather looking at it as a possible wave 4 triangle, which is happening and taking place here. So triangle wise, it's a 5-wave pattern. So we're looking at here possibly an A wave, then the B wave down that was in November. Then we're probably just now doing the C wave, a D, and an E is still to follow. So that is absolutely possible, likely. And in that scenario, however, the price should not exceed ideally the 785 level, that high from November. It's actually at around about 775. And even if it does that, it would not invalidate the triangle, but then I think a normal ABC correction will get more likely. It's just how stretched out it is sideways compared to what Bitcoin and Ethereum are currently doing. I think it's more likely here to put that triangle in place. This certainly doesn't look impulsive at all at the moment, yeah. So for me at the moment, more likely that we'll get one more low. Could a low be in? Surely, you know, you can always try to count something. But then I would have to count the move here as a wave 1 in July. That it came down in a wave 2, and then I have to consider that the wave 1 was only a diagonal. We came down in a 2, and surely, I mean, again, then you would say maybe here we had a 1-2 setup, and this could be a 3. So possibly here a 1 ABC. Yeah. But then it's weak compared to, for example, what at the moment Ethereum, Bitcoin doing, yeah. And also it's not very impulsive on the way to the upside. So I'm find that more likely this is a correction. Of course, can I rule out that it's the 1-2 and oops, didn't want to do that. Let me just go back here. Can I rule out that this is already, that the low is already in? No, I can't rule that out. I mean, you could find a way to count it slightly different, and then we would have to say, but it's difficult. Or maybe with it is really tough because it adds up so well with these counts to the downside that I would really find it difficult to consider the wave 3 and 4 already done and the 5. Yeah, maybe here as a truncation, you know, and then I would have to say this was the 4 and we had a truncated wave low and we're now rallying. But yeah, it's, you know, from that point of view, I'm rather focused here still on the downside for Uniswap. It hasn't moved enough. Also, for example, Bitcoin is much closer to that August high than, for example, Uniswap is. And normally altcoins should be a bit more volatile, should show a bit more strength. And therefore, I'm at the moment rather focusing here still on the downside, which doesn't mean it couldn't rally a little bit more up in the short term. But for me, not a chart that I at the moment see a reason to be long in. There are other charts that look a bit more bullish than Uniswap. Okay, and that's my update about Uni. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.